Welcome. I'm Richard HAASNOOT, and I'm your host for the Advanced Wisdom Series. In this series, my goal is to help you live more of a wisdom-inspired life, which is the highest form of life that us humans can live. In the course of these episodes, I share with you very specific suggestions that you can act on to live more of a wisdom-inspired life. I'm also sharing with you wisdom from 3 God-realized enlightened avatars that I've studied the most: Krishna, Jesus, and Paramahansa Yogananda. As God-realized enlightened avatars, when we see or hear or read their wisdom, this is the wisdom from God. So, with that said, let's get into today's episode. End quote. From the voices of prophets issue proclamations of the eternal truths, which are changeless, creedless, and universally applicable in all epochs, and also codes of conduct needed in a particular age or set of circumstances, and adaptation of the eternal verities to the specifics of the human need. So what you've got here are proclamations of eternal truths that prophets bring, but then they also customize the message to deal with the environment and circumstances that humans have at that point in time. And this in many ways accounts for the differences between the teachings of between God-realized and enlightened avatars. For example, Krishna lived 5,000 years before Jesus, very different circumstances and need for teachings. Buddha lived 500 years before Jesus did. And Paramahansa Yogananda lived in the early 1900s as a prophet. Okay, gives you some sense. So, there's a role that prophets tend to play. One is divine revelation, okay, those eternal truths, guidance and teaching for the circumstances at the point in time that they are on earth teaching, and a general call to humanity of a call for repentance and righteousness. I call it getting our act together, okay? So, very important message here about what prophets do. So, let's get into the next piece of wisdom. Quote, contentment, ever-new joy, omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence are not acquired qualities, but are an integral part of the soul. Hence, the devotee who is engrossed in these soul qualities is enjoying the real lasting happiness belonging to his own true self. Okay? Our soul, that spark of divinity in all of us, that reflection of divinity in all of us, has basic core qualities that define what divinity is. And it's very important to recognize these because I've talked about in other episodes. For the vast majority of humanity today, our lives are guided by our ego, which is all about me. I. Okay? The soul is about us, about all that is about God. Okay? Very, very different. And our goal as humanity is to gradually let go of our ego as the guidance system and have the soul become the guidance system for our life. Okay? So that said, some soul qualities in addition to what we saw here. The soul is the spiritual essence of who we are as humans. Okay? The spiritual essence of who we are. The soul, as I just mentioned, the ego is about me. The soul is about unity, all of us, the connecting of all of us. The soul is also very important about consciousness. And consciousness is important because as we progress in the later stages of our spiritual journey, we go through expansions of our consciousness, which opens up a whole new set of abilities and qualities as we approach enlightenment, God realization. Okay? So, a lot of good stuff here. As always, I deeply appreciate you listening to these episodes. I look forward to reconnecting with you soon. Thank you very much.